Hello guys, my name is Faizan Khan and welcome to my YouTube channel Coding Lifestyle for You. In this tutorial, we will be creating our first talking dictionary project step by step from scratch. So if you don't have much programming knowledge, it's fine. Yeah, it's really fine as I will be explaining everything from start. This way you will learn Python through projects. If you are a beginner, then after completing 6 to 7 projects, you will be coming up with your own app ideas and will be able to implement them. You will be able to create GUI for every project, hopefully. So let's start with this. What you guys have to do, just open your PyCharm, and I hope you have already downloaded Python interpreter and PyCharm IDE. If not, the video link is given in the description. Watch those videos, download and install Python and PyCharm, and then continue with this one. So firstly, we will be creating the GUI part. For creating GUI, we have different libraries or modules or frameworks in Python. So the most popular and easy to use is Tkinter, or it is also known as Tkinter. Others which can be used are Kiwi, PyQt, WXPython, etc. But Tkinter is inbuilt, that is, it comes with Python interpreter. We don't need to install it. All others have to be installed through pip. Pip is a tool which helps to download external modules in our project. So this Tkinter is a cross-platform. It means the same code will run on Windows, Mac or Linux operating system. Okay, so let's start. You guys need to download the source code and the images from the link given in the description. Okay, so let me just quickly show you how this project works. Suppose if I write some word like film and click on this search button, so see, we are getting a meaning here. Okay, these are the meanings. There are so many meanings of a single word. Okay, now if I click on this mic button, it will simply convert this text into audio. And if I click on this mic button, it will simply convert the text which is written here into audio. Right? I hope you understood. And then after that we have this clear button. It will simply clear all the text areas. And then we have this exit button to exit our window. Okay, so let's start building this project. So guys, what you have to do, just go to this file, click on a new project. GUI window like this will appear. In place of this blue text Python project, just give a name of a project like talking dictionary. This is a project name. Okay, this is a folder name where your main file will reside. Okay, all the images and the main file will be inside this talking dictionary folder, and this is the complete location of that folder. Next thing is that you need to select this virtual environment, keep the location as it is, choose the base interpreter. I have only one interpreter, that is 3.9.2, so I'll be using the same. If you have any other interpreter, go with that, it's fine. Next, just tick on this create a main.py welcome script, and then you need to click on this create button. So I want this new project to open in a new window. Okay, so my virtual environment is getting created. I already told you in the earlier video that why we require virtual environment. It basically helps you to save your storage. So whatever modules you will download, that will be available for one particular virtual environment, right? It will not be accessed by other projects. Yeah, so our virtual environment is created, and this is the main.py file. So I'm simply going to remove all this code, and we'll be starting from here. Okay, so let's create it. So what we guys need to do, firstly, for creating the GUI part, let me just rerun the main project. Okay, original one. So this is the GUI part that we need to create. So how we will be creating this GUI part? Firstly, we need to create a window, and then we will give the size to our window. Okay, then we will be adding the background image. Then we will see how we can add this text over here, then this entry field, then these buttons. Okay, and you can see when I'm bringing my mouse pointer on this button, it is changing to hand symbol. Then we'll see how we'll be adding this text over here, then this text area, then these buttons. Okay, so let's build this GUI first of all. So as I already told you, for building GUI we will be using Tkinter module. So what we need to do, firstly we will have to import Tkinter. So we will be writing this line from Tkinter import asterisk. So what this line means, basically, Tkinter is a module, it's a file in which we have a lot of classes and methods present. Okay, it's a file, it's a module, it's a library where we have a lot of classes and methods present. So when we are writing from Tkinter import, so what this asterisk means, that we are simply importing all the classes and the methods which are present inside this Tkinter module. Okay, I hope you understood. Next, after this, we need to create a GUI window, right? Because if we run at this stage, nothing will happen. So how do you run your project in PyCharm? Just right click and run main. Main is the name of your Python file. So you can see the code is working fine till now. Okay, so let's create a GUI window. So how do you create GUI window in Tkinter? You just have to use a class which is present inside this Tkinter module, and the class name is TK. This is the class name. Once you create the object of this TK class, okay, your window will be created. So let me give object name as root. You can give any name here. I am giving root as an object name. So only this line will help you to create your window. Okay, so if I run this, so what happened? Our program finished with exit code 0. It means our program ended successfully. Okay. So what happened here? Our window is created, but we are not able to see that window because the program ran so quickly that our eyes was not able to see that GUI window, right? So what we need to do, we need to keep that window on hold. We need to keep that window on a loop. So how do you keep your window on a loop? You just write there is a method which is present inside this Tkinter module, which is known as main loop. Okay, so how do you access that method? Okay, how do you access that method? With the help of this object name. So you need to write object name dot and the method is main loop, like this. Okay, like this. So this main loop is a method which is present inside this TK class. Okay, and this TK class is present inside this Tkinter module, right? I hope you guys are able to understand. Now just after this, let me run this, and you can see that we got a window here, right? Now what is the next thing that we need to do? We need to provide some width and the height to this window. Okay, we need to provide some width and some height to this window. So for that, what we need to do, and make sure you write everything between these two lines. Okay, if you will write anything just after this main loop, it will not be executed. The reason is because this main loop method simply keeps everything in a loop. Okay, so everything just between these two lines will be on a loop. Okay, so the code just after this line will never be executed. For example, if I show you here, let me just print my name, run. You can see this print statement is not executed. Okay, because this window is on a loop. Okay, so only this much code is getting executed again and again. So you are able to see this GUI window here. Okay, so once I close this window, this code will be over and this print statement will work then, and you will see Faizan written, right, as an output on the console, right, this way. So make sure you write everything between these two lines only. So let's resize our window and provide some width and the height. So for that, again we have a method which is present inside this tk class. Okay, and we can access that method with the help of this object name root. So let's access that. So root dot geometry. Okay, so this geometry is a method, okay, which helps you to set width and the height of your window. So the width and the height has to be given in the form of a string here. Okay, you can either use single quotes or you can use double quotes. It's up to you. Both work same in Python. So I'll be using single quotes. Okay, and here you have to mention the width and the height. Okay, so what is the width that I have taken in my original project is 1000 as the width, and then we have to use a small x for cross. Okay, and then 626 is the height that I have used in my original project. So I'm going to use that same because we are going to create the same project again. Okay, so let me just run this. So you can see that our window size has increased. Okay, now the next important thing is that right now if you see this window, from the x-axis this is the distance of our window, and from y-axis this is the distance of our window. Okay, let me just run this again. You can see now the distance got increased, right? From the x-axis the distance got increased, and similarly from the y-axis also. If you run it again, this window will appear at different position. Now this is appearing at this position. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to fix the distance from the x-axis and the distance from the y-axis of our window. Okay, we need to fix that. So for that, what we can do, we have to simply add distance from the x-axis. Okay, at what distance you want your window to appear from the x-axis, and then the distance from the y-axis. Let me provide 30 from the y-axis, right? Now this window will appear at this distance, 100 distance from the x-axis and 30 distance from the y-axis. If I run it again, it will appear at the same position again. Okay, now this position will not change of our window. Okay, next thing is you can see tk is written here on this title bar as a title. Okay, so we need to change this title. Okay, so for changing the title, again we have a method in this tk class, and we can access that method with the help of this root object. So the method name is root dot title. Okay, and here also title has to be in the form of a string. So you can give any title whatever you wish. So I'll be writing like this: talking dictionary created by Faizan Khan. So this is the title of my title bar. So let me just run this and show you. So you can see now the title has changed from TK to talking dictionary created by Faizan Khan. Okay, now the next thing is, right now see, I have given the width and the height to my window, right? So if I click on this maximize button, what it is doing, it is simply changing the width and the height that I provided, right? So I don't want this thing to happen. Okay, I want my width and the height to be this only. Okay, nobody should change this width and the height. Okay, you will also be able to drag this window if you want to drag this window, you will be able to increase the width. So I don't want this thing to happen. Okay, I want my window of fixed width and the height. So for that we have another method inside this tk class, which is known as resizable. Okay, and inside this resizable, you will have to pass the false value for the width and the false value for the height. That means we do not want any changes in the width and the height. Okay, let me just run this. So now you can see that this maximize button is disabled, and also you will not be able to stretch this window. Okay, now the window is of fixed size, right? Instead of this 0 comma 0, you can also use false comma false. Okay, because false and 0 both are same. False, right? Like this, both work same. So you can see it is also working same. Next thing is that we need to add a background image. Okay, so let me just run this original project to show you the background image. So you can see that this is the background image. Okay, so from where you will get this background image? You can go to the source code that I provided you. Just go into that source code, you will find a png image. Okay, bg.png. Okay, so you can use that image. I will be using that same image, or if you want you can download some other images as well. Okay, so if I just quickly tell you from where I download the images. Okay, so you can guys can go to some web browser. Okay, just search here pexels.com. So this is the website where you can get a lot of free images, background images, different kind of images for your project. Okay, you can search here for background images, you will get a lot of images. Okay, if you want to use image of your own, you can choose any of the images whichever you wish. Okay, there will be a lot of images here. So pexels.com is the website name from where I have downloaded the image that I'm going to use in this project. Okay, so firstly what we need to do, we need to copy the image and put it in the same folder where our main.py file is existing. Okay, so how do we do that? We have to go to the source code. So I'm going where I have kept my source code. So you guys can see that in future videos we will be covering all these projects. Okay, all these projects we will be building step by step. So this is the dictionary project and these are the images here. So what you need to do, once you reach the source code, just copy these 7 things. Okay, these are the 7 items. You just need to copy all these items. Okay, these are basically the images, and there is one this file data.json file. What this data.json file is having, this is having simply the words and the meanings of our dictionary. Okay, it simply includes all the words and the meanings. You need to copy all these 7 things and then come back to your PyCharm project. And next thing is that just right click on this folder and select this paste. Okay, it might not work this way, so if it doesn't work this way, just right click and open in Explorer. Okay, just go inside this talking dictionary project and just paste here, Control V. Okay, so I have pasted all the 7 items that I have copied from the source code. Okay, I have pasted all these things. So now just simply close this. We are back to our project main.py file. Here you can see on the left hand side that all our items have been pasted here, and this is the bg.png image that we will be using. The size of this image I have kept same as the width and the height of my window size of our project. Okay, if you guys remember, the height of this image, sorry, the width of this image is 1000 cross 626 is the height. You can check here that I have kept the same width and the height so that this image can completely fill onto this window. Okay. Okay, so let's see how we can add this PNG image on our window. Okay, on this window. So let's see. So for that, what we need to do, we need to firstly create a label. Okay, once we create a label on our window, then on that window we will be able to add our background image. Okay, and one more thing, before creating a label, we also have to import this bg.png into our main.py file. Okay, we need to import this bg.png in our main.py file. So how to do that? You just have to use a class here, photo image, which is present in Tkinter module. Just use this class photo image, and here you have to mention the file name. Okay, which file you want to import in your main.py, and the file name is bg.png, this one. Okay, if this bg.png would have been in some other folder, then you would have passed a complete path location of this bg.png. Since this bg.png is in the same folder where our main.py file is located, so we can only pass the name of the file, that is bg.png. Okay, that's it. So we need to create object of this photo image class. Okay, we will be simply naming it bg image. Okay, so this way we can import any images into our main.py file. Okay, this is the way. Now after importing the image, now we can add this image on a label. Okay, so now we can add this image on a label. So let's create a label. So for creating a label, we will have to use a label class which is present in Tkinter module. Okay, we have to use a label class, and this label, where I want to place this label, where I want to add this label, I want to add this label on my root window, right? On my window name is root here, so we'll have to pass root. So this label will be added on my root window, right? Next thing is if I run right now, if I run like this, you'll not be able to see any label here. Okay, the reason is we have just added this label inside my root window, but we have not placed it at which position this label should be visible to us. Okay, so this label should be visible to us at a position. Let's first create an object of this class. Okay, I'll give the name as bg label, relevant name, background label. Okay, where we will be adding a background image. Now we have a method which is present inside this label class, which is known as place. Okay, that method helps you to place your label on your root window. Okay, so where I want to place my label, so if you see this window, if I run this code again, you can see this is my window. Okay, so this coordinate, if you see carefully, this coordinate is 0 comma 0. So I want my image to start from this position. Okay, 0 comma 0. Okay, so x-axis is 0 and the y coordinate will also be 0 at this position. Okay, so I want my image to start from this position. So for that, what we need to do, we need to simply give x equals to 0 and y equals to 0. So we want to place our label at a distance of 0 from x-axis and at a distance of 0 from y-axis. Okay, so the x and y coordinates will be 0 comma 0. I hope you guys are able to understand this. So let me run, and still you will not be able to see the label. The reason is because we have not added anything inside this label. We have not added anything inside this label. So let's add something inside this label. So either we can add text here. So if I add text, suppose hello, okay. So we have passed a keyword argument. This is known as keyword argument, and this is the value for this keyword argument, hello. Okay, so let's see. So you can see at 0,0 we are getting hello text on a label. Okay, our label is created at this position, and on that label I have added a text hello. Okay, but we do not want to add text here, we want to add image, right? So let's add an image. So we'll write image equals to, and what is the image? Image is this bg image. Okay, this is the object which is having the actual bg.png image, right? So we will use this object name bg image. So we'll pass this bg image in this image keyword argument. Okay, let's run this. So you can see now we are getting that image on the label of our root window. Okay, I hope you guys have understood that how I have added this image on this window. So since this is our first project, so you guys might not understand everything completely. Maybe after completing 2-3 projects you will be able to understand things much clear. Okay, so let's continue. After creating this bg label, after adding this background image, let me just run my original project. So you can see here, after adding this background image, we need to add this text at the top at this position. Okay, so let's add this text, right? So let's add this text. Just before adding that text, let me run this once more to show you one more thing. See, I have placed this image from 0,0, so it is at this position. Its starting point is this position. If we change this x and y coordinate values, what will happen? Suppose if I change it to 50 and this one maybe 30. Let's see. So you can see that this image is getting added from x-axis at a distance of 50 and from y-axis at a distance of 30, right? So now you guys will be able to understand that why I have given 0,0 coordinate, because this represents 0,0 coordinate. Okay, okay, so now let's add that text enter word. So firstly, what we will be using, we will be again using a label class, because we will be creating a label, and on that label we will be adding that text enter word. Okay, so this is a label and we need to create object of this label. So I'll be keeping a relevant name, so enter word label like this, and this is the label class. Now where you want this label to appear? I want this label on my window, right? And the window name is root, so I need to pass root here, first thing. Next thing is that on this label, if I run right now, nothing will you will not be able to see anything. The reason is that we just created a label, but we have not placed it. Okay, we have not placed this label on my root window. So how do you place your label? You use the object variable name enter word label dot method name of this label class, which is place. Okay, and then you give the x and the y values, that where you want your label to be shown, okay, from x distance and from the y distance. So the values you can simply check with different values, that what position you are getting. I'll be using 530 because I have used this 530 value in my original project also, and then y as 20. Okay, so from y distance I want my label to appear at a distance of 20, and from x-axis I want my label to appear at a distance of 530. So if I run this, still you will not be able to see the label properly. I don't know if you are able to see this little block. So this is our label. Okay, now we can add a image on this label, or we can add a text on this label. Okay, so let's add text this time on this label. Okay, so this was the label that we have created. Okay, now on this label let's add text. Earlier we added an image on the label. Now let's add some text on this label. So we'll use text keyword argument here, and inside this text keyword argument we will pass whatever text you want to write there. Enter word, like this. Let's run this. So you can see that we are getting our text here. Okay, but this text does not look like the one we have in our original project. If I run my original project again, you can see that this text is looking much beautiful, right? So let's create like this. So what we guys need to do, enter word. Okay, so what we need to do, after providing the text, we need to provide some font to this text. Okay, so let's provide a font. So we have a font keyword argument for that, and font has to be passed in the form of a tuple. Okay, so tuple is a data type in Python, okay, which can contain different types of values. Okay, we can add strings, we can add integer values, we can add float values, all that inside this parenthesis. Okay, so let's add the values. Firstly, the style. Okay, and style has to be in the form of a string, so I'll be using Castler as a style for my text. This is the spelling of Castler. Then after that, comma, then we need to mention the size of the text. Okay, so let me just put 15 first. Let's see how much big the size is. Okay, and let's run this. So you can see the size got increased, and the Castler is this style, okay, that we are getting here. So what styles you can use inside this font keyword argument? What styles in place of this Castler? What other styles you can use? You can use Black Cooper here, you can use Arial here. So if you guys have gone inside Word, MS Word, okay, so there we have a lot of styles, right? There we have a lot of styles here. If you see, sorry, let me open it again. Word. So you can see here that we have all these styles here. Okay, so you can use any of these styles in that font keyword argument. Okay, whatever you wish, you can use that. If you want to use Arial, you can use Arial. It's up to you. Then this 15 is the font size. So 15 is very small font size, so I will increase it to 29, which the font size that I have used in my original project. So you can see that we are getting this enter word like this. After that, you can either make this text bold or italic, it's up to you, or underlined. Okay, so I will make it bold. So make sure you pass it in the form of a string, and if you run it again, you can see the text has become bold now. After that, what you need to do, you need to change the color of this text. Okay, you need to change the color of this text. Right now by default it is of black color, but we need to change it to red. Okay, so for that, what we have, which keyword argument we have foreground keyword argument, foreground. Okay, and the value you can pass whatever you wish, like red, blue, green, whatever color you wish. So if I pass red here and run this code, So you can see that the text of the color of the text has changed to red. But the exact color that I have used in my original project is red 3. From where I have got this red 3 color? You can simply go to your web browser and search for Tkinter colors. Okay, like this. Go to this image section. Here you can see this image here. Okay, this image. There are a lot of colors here. You can simply right click. You can save image as. Okay, you can save this image. Okay, and just open this image and choose the color whichever you want. Okay, all these colors will support in this Tkinter module. Okay, so red 3 color I got from that image only. Okay, so I will be using this red 3. So you can see the difference. Yeah, so it's a little bit darker. After that, what we need to do, we need to change the background color also. See, the background color right now is a bit gray. Okay, and this is not matching with the background color of our GUI window. Okay, right now our GUI window is of white color, and this background color of this label is a bit grayish. So we need to change this background color of our label. Okay, so for that we can write background equals to, and the color name will be using white smoke. Okay, this color will match with the color of our background image. Let's run and see. So you can see it is quite matching with the background color of our image. Okay, the label background color is matching. Now the next important thing here is, instead of this foreground, you can also use FG shorthand, and similarly instead of this background you can also use BG shorthand. Okay, let's run this and see. It's still the same. Okay, so we'll be using FG and BG, FG for foreground and BG for background. Now after creating this enter word label, next thing is that we need to create enter word entry. This one, this is the entry field. Okay, this is known as entry field in Tkinter. So let's create this entry field. So what is this entry field? This is a one line field. Okay, where you can enter everything in a single line only. You will not be able to go to a new line. Okay, you cannot go to a new line. So this is known as entry field in Tkinter. So let's create this entry field. Coming to a new line, we'll be using entry class to create entry field. Okay, and we need to create object of this entry field. We'll give relevant name and it's enter word entry, right? It's entry field for the word. Okay, and this entry field, where I want this entry field, I want this entry field on my root window, on my main window. The name of that main window is root, so I want my entry field on my root window, right? So if I run this, you will be able to see anything? No. The reason is because we just created a entry field, we have not placed it. Like at what position on my window I want this entry field. Okay, so let's place it somewhere on my window. So we'll be using the object variable name enter word entry dot place method of this entry class. Okay, this place method is of this entry class. So what will be the x and the y coordinate? So x that I have already used in my original project is 510. Okay, and the y coordinate that I have used is 80. You can change this x and y values according to your window. Okay, means whatever you like, whatever you want, it's up to you that at what position you want your entry field to appear. I want at this position, so I have used this values. Okay, So this is my entry field. So right now it's very small. If you compare it with the original project, so this is looking much better. Okay, so let's create like this. So let's create like that. So after adding my entry field on my root window, next thing is that we need to add the font. Okay, so whatever text you will write in that entry field, that will be in this font that we are going to mention here. Okay, so let's give the font style this time Arial. It's up to you which style you want to give. Then the font size that I will be giving is 23. You can give whatever values you wish. Okay, you can check by using different values, and then I will make that bold. Okay, so if I run this, you can see that the size also got increased. Why the size got increased? Because I have mentioned that 23 should be the size of the text that we will be entering inside this entry field. Okay, so that is why the size of this entry field got increased. Okay, so whatever text you will be writing, this is 23, the size, okay, of this text. Okay, so we added font to this entry field. Now after adding the font, what next thing? We want our cursor to blink at the center instead of blinking on the left hand side. So how do you blink your cursor at the center? So for that, what you have to do, you have to mention justify equals to center in capitals. Okay, so this will simply help your cursor to blink at the center position. So if I run this again, you can see now the cursor is blinking at the center position. Whatever you will be typing, it will be at the center, right? Like that. Next thing is what I want to do. I want to provide some border to this entry field. Okay, so let's provide some border. So for providing border, you just have to write BD. Okay, and I will be giving it a border of 8. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so this is how it looks. If you want, you can increase or decrease the value to check. If I provide 15, you can see how it looks, right? It got a bit thicker, right? Like that. So I'll go with value 8. Then after that, I want to style this border. I want to style this border. And to style this border, we have to use relief keyword argument. And the values, there are various values that you can use. You can use sunken, you can use ridge, okay, you can use groove, okay, and there are many more. So I will be using this groove, so you will be able to see a difference that this is the style that I have provided to my border. Okay, now this border looks same like my original project. Okay, this one and this one both are same if you see carefully, right? So till here we have completed. Now the next thing is that we need to add these two buttons at this position. Okay, so let's create buttons for my this GUI window. Okay, so let's create a button here. And if you guys have noticed that in my original project, on these buttons we have added images, right? This is the search image and this is the mic image. Okay, so we will be using these images on a button. Okay, so let's see how we can add images on button. So before adding images on the button, we will have to import the images from here to here in our code. Okay, so for that again we have to do the same thing like we did previously. As we imported this background image, we will have to import that search image also. So let's import that search image. So we'll be using photo image class to import that search image, and we'll simply mention the file name as search.png. Okay, this is the image name, search.png. This is the png, and this is 64 cross 64 png. So from where you guys can download these images will not be available on pexels.com, the earlier site which I told you. This one here you will only get a big background images, kind of images. And let's see from where we can get small icon images or button images like that. For that we have flat icon.com website, flaticon.com website. So you guys can visit this website, and on this website you can search for many icons. Okay, various icons here. Okay, you can simply search here, search button, like that, and you can see there are so many search buttons we can which you can download from here. Okay, if you like any of these search buttons, just click and choose the png size of this image. Like I have used 64 cross 64. Just click on this 64 cross 64 and then just click on this free download, and your downloading will start. Okay, this way you can use any other png image if you want for any of the buttons that we are going to create, right? So I'll be using this one. Okay, so I have used this photo image class. I need to create object of this photo image class, and that will simply represent the image. Okay, so I'll name the object as search image. Okay, now after this we need to create a button. Okay, and on that button we will simply add this image. Okay, this search image is nothing but this search.png image. Okay, so how do we create button in Tkinter? We will be using simply a button class like this, and where I want this button, I want this button on my window, on my root window, right? So that is why I'm passing root here, and I need to create object of this button class. So I will write search button. Okay, relevant names I'm taking, you can use any name, it's up to you. Search button is the object variable name for this button class. Okay, now again the same thing, if I run at this position you will not be able to see the button because we just created button and we have not added this button anywhere on my GUI window, right? So I need to place this button. So search button dot place. Where I want to place the search button, I want to place the search button from x-axis at a distance of 620 and from y-axis at a distance of 150. Okay, see these values I already know because I have already created this project, right? Earlier it took time in deciding which values will be perfect. Okay, so you guys can do some changes if you want in these values. Okay, let's run this. You can see that we got this button here. Okay, I'm able to click on this button. Okay, so this button right now has no text or image, so we have to add image here. If you want you can add text also, like if I add text on this button, text equals to search, like that. If you want you can do like this also, it's up to you, but I will be using image here. So instead of text I'll be adding image. So image equals to, what is the image name? Search image. So I'll pass the search image inside this keyword argument image. So it's a search image like this. Let's run this. You can see that we got this image on our button. Okay, but this button does not look like this one, right? This button doesn't look like that one of our original project, like this. We have to create like this. So what we guys can do here, after adding this image, we can simply remove the border. Okay, right now you are able to see this border. Okay, this outside border for this button. I want to remove this border. So for removing the border, you just have to mention border equals to 0 and run this again. You can see that the border is now removed. Next thing is that the background color of this button is not matching with the background color of this image, right? So we need to give the same background color as that of that image. So we'll mention BG for background color, and we'll be using white smoke as we used here, if you remember, right? Let's run this. So you can see now this is looking like a button. Okay, the same button of our original project also. If you see, this is how it looks, right? It's same only. The next thing is that if here, if you see, if you notice in my original project, if you notice here, when I'm bringing my mouse pointer on this button, it is changing to hand symbol. But here, if you see, if I'm bringing my mouse pointer on this button, it is not changing to hand symbol. So let's do that. So for that, what we have to do, we have to mention here cursor to hand 2. Okay, hand 2 is the value that we need to pass inside this cursor keyword argument to get that hand shape for cursor. Okay, let's run this. So whenever you will hover your mouse pointer on this button, you will see that hand symbol, right? Like this. After this, one more thing is there, that if you click on this button, you are able to see that gray color, right? You are able to see that gray color when you click on this button. Okay, so I don't want to see that gray color. So for that, what you have to do, you have to write here another keyword argument, which is active background color. Active background. So what is this active background? Active background is nothing but the color which you see when you click on that button. Okay, the color which you see when you click on that button is known as active background. So active background, here I'll be using the same as of my background color, white smoke, like this. Make sure you pass the color in the form of single quote or a double quote. Okay, in single or double quote. So now if I click it, you can see that the foreground color, background color, active background color is same as that of my this background wallpaper. Okay, so we are done with this search button. Okay, but right now if you see, when I'm clicking on this search button, nothing is happening because we have not provided any functionality to this search button. Okay, so firstly, in this video we will be creating the GUI part, right? So after creating the search button, next here at this position we need to create a mic button. So let's quickly create a mic button, and that mic button will be created in the same way like this search button is created. Okay, so firstly we need to import a mic image, like I imported this search image. Okay, then after that I will be creating the button. We'll be using the button class to create the button for the mic image. Okay, and then we will be simply placing it. Okay, so let's do that quickly. So mic image equals to photo image class. So we are simply importing this mic image, this one 56 cross 56, and this is the microphone image 64 cross 64. So we will be using this mic.png. Okay, this is of shorter size. Okay, and this microphone.png will be using when we will be converting the text which is written in the meaning field into audio. For that we will be using this image. Okay, so mic image, here we need to mention the file name, and the file name is mic.png. Okay, so we have simply imported this mic.png in our main.py file. After that we need to create a button, again a button, but this time the object variable name will be changed. It will be mic button, or whatever name you wish you can give to that object variable name, and we will be using a button class here, like that. And now again this button has to be somewhere. This button will be inside my root window, main window. Okay, and again you will not be able to see this button unless we place this button on my window. So let's place this button. So I'll write mic button dot place, and where I want to place this, you can give the x and y values according to your choice. The values that I have used in my original project is x equals to 710 and y equals to 153, like that. Okay, so if I run this, you can see that we are getting a button at this position. Okay, so we need to now add image on this button. Okay, so let's add image on this button. So we'll be writing image keyword argument equals to, and the value will be this mic image. So mic image, like this. If I run it again, you can see that we got this image. Next thing is that we don't want this border. We need to remove this border. So let's write bd equals to 0. It will simply remove your border. So it has removed the border. Now let's change the background color of this button same as the background color of this image. So we'll be using bg equals to white smoke. This is the color name, white smoke. I already told you from where you can get all these colors. Okay, I hope you have downloaded that image. You can see now the color is matching with this background image. Now let's change the active background color. Okay, when I'm clicking on this button, you can see that active background color. Let's change that. So I'll write here active background equals to white smoke, like that. Okay, so when I click this, it's same as that of this window. Okay, now what I want when I bring my mouse pointer on this button, it should change to hand symbol. So for that we need to pass keyword argument cursor and with the value of hand 2, like this. Okay, you can see. What if I pass hand 1 here, like this? So you can see how this hand look like. Oh, okay, this looks like this. Okay, so if you want this, then you will write hand 1. If you want this one, then you should write hand 2 as a value, like that. Okay, so we have added both the buttons. Okay, next thing is that we need to add this text meaning, okay, just below this buttons, and it will be written in the same way like we have written this enter word text. Okay, firstly we will be creating a label, and on that label we will simply be adding the text, and then after that we will be simply providing some font to that text, and we will simply be changing the color of that text, right? The same thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to copy that label. Okay, and I will simply change the values and the object name. Okay, control C for copy, and here control V for paste. Now I will change the variable names here. So if you want your cursor to blink at 2 position, you need to press the alt key and press the mouse left button. Okay, press the alt key and press the mouse left button, so you will be able to place multiple cursors on your screen. Okay, like this. So it's not enter word label this time, it will be meaning label. Okay, meaning label. And again this label has to be inside my root window, that is there. Okay, then the text, instead of enter word, this time the text will be meaning, right? Meaning. And font, will be same, okay, because I want the font same as of search word. Okay, I want the same font as of this search word text. Okay, so that both look same. After that, the color will also be same. The text color FG stands for the text color, foreground color, red 3, and the background will also be same, white smoke. Okay, again, next thing is that meaning label. This is the meaning label. We need to place this somewhere. We need to change this x and y coordinates values. Okay, if I don't change it and run like this, you will see, you will not be able to see, you will be able to see meaning overlapped with the word, because this is placed at the same position where enter word is placed, right? So we need to place this meaning text over here. Okay, meaning text label over here. So let's change the x and y coordinate values. So x will be 580 that I have used, and the y will be 240. Let's see, let me run this. So you can see that we are getting the label at this position. Okay, from x-axis it is at a distance of 580, and from y-axis it is at a distance of 240. Okay, so we got this meaning text at this position. After that, we need to add a text area. Okay, we need to add a text area. So let's add text area. Let me just run the original project again to show you that how that text area look like. So this is the text area that we need to create. Okay, this is known as text area. Why this is text area? Because here we can write in multiple lines. Okay, here we can write it multiple lines like this. Okay, so let's create that text area. Let's go inside our code, talking dictionary. Okay, so here let's create a text area. So I'll be using text class to create that text area, and we need to create object of this text class. I'll be using text area as an object variable name. Okay, now where I want this text area, I want this text area on my main window, root window. Okay, and if I run, you will not be able to see anything because you have just created the text area but you have not placed it. So let's place it also. So text area dot place. Okay, with the help of this object we can access the method place of this text class. Okay, and we need to mention the x and y distance. So x distance that I have used in my project is 460, and the y distance that I have used is 300. So y equals to 300. Let's run. You can see that we got this text area here. Okay, but the font that I am writing inside this text area is not very big, so and it's not stylish at all. So let's change that. And also if you see that this text area is going outside of this window. Okay, so we need to fix the width and the height of this text area. Okay, so let's firstly fix the width and the height. So for that we will mention width for this text area as 34. You can change these values to check the width properly, and then the height also I want to change. Let's change it to 14. Let's see how much this height is. Okay, so this is the height here. Okay, this is the 14 height. Okay, and this is the width here, 34 width. Okay, now what I want next, if I will increase the font size of this text that we are writing inside this text area, this text area size will also increase. Okay, so if I will increase the size of the font for the text that will be written inside this text area, the size of this text area will also increase. So let's see. Let me just provide a font here for the text that will be written inside this text area. Font that I'm going to use here is Arial style. Size that I will provide is 18, and then I will make it bold like this. So if I run it, so you can see that we are getting like this. Okay, the height, I think I have to decrease a little bit. Okay, because I have to add 2 or 3 buttons here. Okay, so I will decrease the height here. So instead of 14, I will make the height to back to 8. Let's see. Yeah, like this. Okay, next thing is that we need to provide some border to this text area and the styling to the border. So let's provide border. See, all these values you can interchange, means this font can be at this position and this height can be at this position. So you can add these values at whichever position you want. Okay, it's not fixed. So let's give some border. I will be giving the same border 8. Okay, like this. Now let's provide some styling to the border. So I will be using relief as groove like this. Let's run this. You can see that the styling is same as of this entry field. Okay, and the border is also same as that of this entry field. Okay, both of them is having 8 as a border. Okay, now what we need to do next, we need to add 3 buttons here. One is microphone button here, then the clear button, and then the exit button, and then our GUI part will be completed. So let's add those 3 buttons here. So firstly, let's add a audio image. This one, this is the audio image, 64 cross 64 PNG. So audio image, and how do we import this audio image? With the help of this photo image class. Okay, and we need to mention the file name, and the file name is microphone.png, this one. Okay, so this way we have imported this image from here to here. Okay, next thing is that we need to create a button. Okay, we have created these buttons here, and the here also that button will be created in the same way. Okay, so let me just create one button, and after that I will do copy and paste. So audio button, you can give it any name. Okay, this is the object name of this button class, and this button will be inside my root window first of all. Okay, and then we need to add this, we need to place this button. Place. So where I should place this audio button? I will be placing this audio button from x at a distance of 530 and from y axis at a distance of 555. So if I run here, you can see this is the button. So from x axis at a distance of 530 and from y axis at a distance of 555. Okay, if you would have given 455 y value, then it would have appeared at this position. Okay, if you would have given 330 x value, then it would have appeared at this position here. Okay, so just change the values and see where it will be placed, like this 530 and y is 555. Now after creating the button, let's add image on this button. So I will use image keyword argument and add audio image like this, and let's run this. So you can see that we are getting an image here. Okay, again the same thing that we did here, we need to make the border 0, and then we need to change the background color of this button. So let's do that. Let's make the border as 0. Okay, so you can see that the border is now 0. Okay, now change the background color of this button. So bg equals to white smoke. Let's run this. Yeah, right now let's change the active background color. So when I'm clicking on this button, you are still able to see that grayish color of the button. So let's change the active background color also. Active background equals to white smoke, like that. Okay, this way. Now what I want when I bring my mouse pointer on this button, it should change to hand symbol. So for that we have cursor keyword argument with the value hand 2, like that. So you can see that we are getting this button here, right? Next thing is we need to create a clear button over here, and then after that exit button over here, and that two buttons will be created in the same way like I created this microphone button, audio button. So what I will do, I will simply copy these 3 lines. Since I need to create 2 more buttons, so I will simply paste here, Control V. Okay, and now I will change the object names here. Audio image will be changed to clear image. Okay, and the file name here will change from microphone.png, it will change to clear.png. This is the image that we are going to use, clear.png. Or if you want some other image, you can go to the web browser, go to this flaticon.com. Okay, search for clear image here, from here, clear button, like that. Okay, so if you wish, you can download some other image also. I'll be using this one. Okay, after that I will change the audio button object name to clear button, like that. And similarly here also audio button will be changed to clear button. Okay, from here the image will change from audio image, this time it will be clear image, this one. Okay, clear image, sorry, clear image. Okay, everything else will remain same. Border will be 0, background color will be white smoke, active background will be white smoke, cursor will change to hand to symbol. Okay, next thing is that where I want to place this clear button. So x distance will change, y will remain same. 555, it will also be 555 because I want this clear button at the same distance as that of this audio button from the y-axis. Okay, so I will change only this x value. So the x value will become to 660. You can check by yourself what value looks good there. Okay, so here you can see that we are getting the search button. Same way we will be creating exit button here. So I have already pasted these 3 lines for the exit button. So let's modify. So this audio, wherever audio is written, just click multiple cursors with the help of alt key and just press backspace and just write exit. This will change to exit image, exit button, right? And this image file will change to exit.png. So this is the imager that we will be using on that button. Okay, exit.png. So I'm simply replacing the names because we have done the same thing here. Okay, so I don't want to repeat the same thing. I hope you guys are able to understand that what I'm doing here. This audio image will change to exit image now. This is the image because of exit.png. Everything else will remain same. BD will be 0, background white smoke, and all other will be same here. And then the placement value y will remain same, 555, and x value will change. So what will be the x value this time? The x value that I have used in my project is 790. Let me run this. So you can see that we got this exit button also. So our GUI part is ready, and in the next video we will learn the functionality of all these buttons. Okay, we will see that if I click on the search button, how the word that we will be writing here will get the meaning of that word by clicking on the search button inside this text area. Okay, we'll see all that in the next video. So I hope till here everyone understood everything. If not understood, just watch this video again. Okay, you might not understand at one time. Just watch this video again. You will be able to understand. Okay, this is the first project. After this, we will be doing many more projects. So you will get to learn a lot of things, a lot of new things in other projects also. So stay tuned and thank you for watching. Have a good day.